What are the top 10 rogue / wild picks that you can do amazing with this September? Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that, subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on content. I gotta start things off over here with Spiral, and yes, I know this deck didn't get a whole lot out of the new power-up, but you know, I'm gonna say it. I have hope for the next ban list, but that's a lot of copium for starting this video off. But I think that the new double agent does give this deck something pretty unique. It gives it an additional way to farm for information, and I think a lot of people are still looking for a way to kind of discover what they can actually do with this deck. But once again, I'm just putting this here as a, hey, you know, players are going to explore. Innovation is one of the craziest things about the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! That you can do all of this crazy success with. And we'd seen Spiral kind of taking off a little bit at the beginning of the last block, where, you know, this deck kind of came out of nowhere. People kind of looked around and they're like, hey, what's going on here? You know, why is Spiral suddenly look like a competent pick? And, well, I will say that it's definitely something that you should be prepared for. Next up is Infernoble, maybe with Camelot. Now I'm reaching on the 7-foot shelf here. My 6-foot giant, you know, ass is pulling this one down, and we're saying maybe Camelot, maybe it's a free little, you know, piece of candy. Maybe you want to toss it into the deck, or maybe, you know, we're just going to play regular Infernoble Warrior Toolbox with or without it. I'm not trying to be super spicy or anything here, but the whole Warrior Toolbox thing that we've already seen Infernoble doing has been fantastic. This deck has been a very scary metagame contender for a little while, and it actually barely missed the top 10 in my personal opinion. But people are going to try out the original Artorias with the deck. It's going to happen. People are going to want to cook, and that's fine. Let them have some fun. You know, if whether or not you think it's going to be successful or not is fine. You can save yourself the testing, but you know, people do want to test and see, hey, you know, maybe it will work out. Maybe we will see something cool come out of that. Next up is Salamangreat. Remember when people told me that Salamangreat of Fire was terrible? Well, why is it actually doing well right now? You know, it's very strange to me because people are like, oh, you know, Salad's a terrible deck. It's never going to perform up to anything. And all of a sudden, you take a look around the current meta, and Salad has been doing Salad things. And it amazes me that people are just like, I can't believe this. I can't believe that people are actually performing with Salamangreat. Where are our Nibiru's at? Tell our Nibiru's to get out of here. Tell them that they need to do something in the meta. We can't let this keep happening. It still is happening. It's been a pretty consistent thing as of late. I honestly think that Salad has been one of the cooler decks to actually have and see be performing out here in the meta. And if you're used to old Salad combo, I mean, you got to do a couple extra steps with the modern era stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, all right? A couple extra steps to kind of achieve some extra results, I think is kind of worth it. Next up is Walmart Turbo, aka I can go out to Walmart, buy 3 structure decks, maybe a little extra guarantee to try to pull a Lightning Storm or 2, and I gotta go on eBay and buy some Pot of Prosperities. This deck is very, very, very reliable. Out of the last week here of August, we actually saw Traptrix retake the meta, actually, and I'm genuinely impressed by that, honestly. Traptrix was so dormant for so long that all of a sudden, you know, the deck kind of came back out and was like, hi guys, do you remember me? I'm still here. Nothing has changed. And I think people were just not really all that shocked or ready to let this deck do its thing, but I am extremely happy that the budget option is back. All right, you can once again pick up Traptrix and perform well on the regional level. Let's clap for that. That's amazing. And then we have dinosaurs. Oh, look at me. So it's been like dinosaur combo, actually. So they're doing Ground Xeno. They're either playing Firehead Opal or the Frostosaurus, your choice of what vanilla dinosaur you actually want to play in the deck. Either or is going to get you to where you need to be on the combo line of things. It just feeds into the Giant Howitzer. That's all it is. It's like, hey, you know, you can make a free, cool, big boss monster. If your opponent does have some sort of method to, you know, blow it up, yeah, you kind of dedicated some extra resources to it, but it's okay, champ. You get them later. Also handing your opponent a token that they can't really do anything with is pretty good, actually. Remember back in the Sky Striker days where you could hand the Sky Striker player the token, they couldn't activate any spells? Might remind you a little bit of Kashtira, unless they hard open the berth, which, actually happens. More times than it really should. Next up is Marincess. I'm going to be completely honest with you here for a second. The little aquatic acrobatuses have been a very, very interesting choice in today's meta. The Aqua Argonaut has been a very, very amazing card. People still don't know how to play around this. There are like 0 kaijus running around in the format right now. Yeah, you have some books to try to stop the starters, but the minute that they've linked someone, your book is literally worthless. So unless you have some sort of crazy method, Space Rock! Oh yeah, Nibiru. Nibiru does what Nibiru needs to do against that deck. The minute that 5 summon button comes down, you're like, reveal Nibiru? And your opponent's like, I can't believe you. How could you do this to me? And then, they pick up their cards and they walk on away. They waddled away. Waddle. I think that's the Marincess experience of this format. Next up is Exosister. Now, I had an internal debate if I even wanted to put Exosister on this list as a rogue / shock factor. But the thing is, the deck has been kind of performing relatively well as of late. I think a lot more people just kind of forgot how to handle Exosister in the meta. And as long as players, once again, aren't prepared for a matchup, it's usually going to do well. I will say that it feels like the graveyard recursion has returned back to the game, where, people are interacting a lot more with their graveyards. So that means that you have more punishing ways to make sure that you can take advantage of the opponent. I think that's a good thing in and itself. The more control aspects that you can kind of spin on things, usually the better off Exosister will be. So as long as you can hit a wide range of decks that are really going to make sure that Exosister gets the chance to shine, yeah, pretty strong. Next up is Plunder Patrol. So if your name is Hunter Lloyd, or you're one of the only other 2 duelists in the entire realm that I think know how to play this deck right now, Plunder Patrol is going to be an amazing deck for you. Now, you've got all the different little splashes of spice that you can kind of splash into Plunder Patrol. Don't get me wrong, seeing the Plunder Patrol Labyrinth deck, I still am very much like, whew, too big brain for me. But you got to remember, this deck thrives on taking the opponent off guard, and also the best amount of attributes in the format, it has to be in its favor. All right, as long as it can bring out a good ship and punish the opponent, that's where this deck is going to do very, very well. I shouldn't need to tell you that. How many people still don't know what Plunder Patrol cards actually do? Trust me, ask a random duelist at your locals. If they can read you the entire Cyframe flavor text, well, they can probably tell you Plunder Patrol did. Next up is Vanquish Soul. Vanquish Soul, once again, people underestimate this deck. Kaiser Varius and friends is actually kind of insane at the end of the day. And once again, it amazes me that people still know how to play around this deck. We do get a future line of support here in October, which is going to pretty much amaze people at the end of the day. I think they're going to be very, very shocked when they see what's going to actually come with this. But my biggest things here with this are, hey, the Vanquish Soul, very, very strong deck. Kaiser Varius for the interruption power, absolutely amazing. The ability to dodge back to the hand and, sometimes avoid targeting effects on the field, pretty good. All of these check marks are some of the biggest things that put this deck kind of in the lead versus a little bit of the rest of the meta. So don't underestimate what Vanquish Soul can do. If you're caught with your pants down, well, it's going to be a very bad time for you. And then last but not least is going to be Runic variants. Runic's kind of fallen to the wayside. Keep in mind that, we're all on ban list season alert right now, so, anything is highly possible at this point in time, but from where I'm sitting right now, the for hire version, the Sprite version, all these have pretty much gone to sleep, and I'm assuming that they'll wake up eventually. I assume something will go pretty crazy eventually, but right now, we're kind of in the warp up. We got the big shifts in the meta actually occurring by the week here. And it looks like Runic has just been pretty quiet. So I'll have to wait and see how things kind of handle out for a majority of these decks. But that's where I'm sitting right now. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Peace. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.